All right, back now to Richard C. Hoagland. Richard, you're back on the air again. We've got a lot of people on the phone here.
Okay.
And I don't know where it's going to take us, but you never know with phones. Let's see what we've got. First-time caller line, you're on the air with Richard C. Hoagland. Hi.
Hi, this is Brent in Greensboro, North Carolina.
Yes, sir?
A point that I would like to make, when Mr. Dorr made the retraction statement yesterday, I believe it was.
That's correct. It was yesterday, right,
Yep.
Richard?
Yes.
Yeah.
You made the comment that possibly he had put a few phrases in there to tell us something. As he referred to being depressed and that it must be the weather and things of that sort. I believe Project 415 is probably being fed to us to take us off the beaten track, to get us off of where we're supposed to be looking. And the reason why I say that, if you add the numbers together, 4, 1, and 5, you come up with 10. If you add the numbers 12 and 7, the proposed arrival date, 1, 2, and 7 equals 10. 10 being positive, as in it being a true statement. Must be the weather, I believe, is that it's a stormy or sad day for possibly himself because he can no longer pursue this, or for mankind as some type of warning. I believe the pressure from the NSA has caused him to put out the statement just to draw us away from the facts.
Well, that's, I guess, equally possible. Look, I want to, if you go to my website right now, in the links section of my website, you will, the top item you will see, you've got to click on links, is the FBI letter that we received when we just, and actually we didn't fully even use the FBI seal. We received the following letter. On April 1st, 1997, an altered news release depicting the official seal of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, had been downloaded and altered to appear on the Art Bell website as an April Fool's joke. Your name, Myron McLeod, appears as the administrative contact for the Art Bell website. And they wrote it to him. Please be aware that, regardless of intention or the appearance of a disclaimer, misuse of the FBI name and or seal without notification of the FBI is punishable by law. Although the aforementioned joke can no longer be reached via the home page, it is accessible at blah, 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 and should be removed immediately to avoid further contact from the FBI. The U.S. Attorney's Office, San Diego, has also been apprised of this matter. Sincerely, blah, blah. That's the letter we got for our little April Fool's joke, and still, at this hour, the NSA seal remains at the GeoCities site. Doesn't make sense to me. How about you, Richard?
No, it doesn't. And the reference by the caller to stormy weather, I think is very right on. When this story developed, the whole thing regarding, signals from Pegasus and were they real or were they a hoax and possible confirmations and all that, my attention was actually focused a bit elsewhere. Mike Barra, who was a former engineer with Boeing, friend of Ken Johnston, who came to this project, a couple years ago, has been doing really phenomenal research, doing the kind of digging that I don't have time to do, because even though I love the science, I'm so strung out on the politics and the other parts of this, more and more of my time gets taken up with things that I should not have to look at. Mike has done an extraordinary job of extending this Egyptian ritual in NASA, looking at date after date and landing and arrival and close encounter and flyby after flyby, and has put together an astonishing database that overwhelmingly is convincing of this Egyptian Masonic ritual pattern inside NASA that extends from the earliest Mercury flights to the moon flights, to the Gemini flights, to the unmanned missions to the outer solar system. Do you know, Art, tonight we have spacecraft that are headed for Sirius, that were deliberately deflected in their last flight past Neptune so they would fly toward the star Sirius, which compromised the science at Neptune because you can't have it both ways?
No.
And on and on and on. I mean, there is a huge volume of material, and Mike and I are threatening that we're going to do for the Egyptian ritual stuff what I've done for the hyperdimensional model. Remember how many years I came on your show and we talked about hyperdimensional physics?
Of course.
And finally I, sat down and applied pen to paper, in this case, mouse to computer, and ultimately came up with something which has been pretty damn convincing in many, many quarters, right?
Yeah. Oh, yes, absolutely. I mean, mathematicians have been emailing me saying there's a lot to this. Yes.
Okay, we are going to have to do the same thing for the Egyptian ritual NASA model. Lay it out in quadruplicate with example after example after example. We have done a kind of a partial version of that in this website posting on Enterprise we put up a couple nights ago. What if the phone call comes from Pegasus? Because what we really started looking at was not Pegasus. Before that broke, we were looking at Soho and the sun and the rather mysterious and bizarre events around the disappearance of the Soho spacecraft. Because it's looking more and more like Soho was deliberately murdered and then brought back to life. And this is evident from many particular, convergent lines of data, not the least of which is there is a post on the official NASA Soho website saying they killed Soho. It's a cartoon. And it's from South Park, one of your favorite shows, Art.
Oh, my God, they killed Kenny.
And in place of Kenny, they've got Soho. And in the back row, they got all of the characters of the show, and I don't watch it, so, in the back row, they have two gray aliens standing there.
Richard, you've got to watch it. You've got to check out South Park. It's great.
Well, now that I've been intrigued, I certainly will.
Okay.
The point is that a friend of mine, came to us in the Seattle conference and slipped me a piece of paper and said that she had found on the official Soho website in a hidden file this cartoon prepared by the webmaster. They killed Soho.
Oh, my God, they've killed Soho.
Oh, my God. That's why the title of the piece.
Uh-huh.
And what Mike did was to go through this step by step and piece by piece and data point by data point, and we put this together, and then this Pegasus thing broke. Well, the problem is, what was Soho looking at when it was mysteriously taken out? The story itself from NASA doesn't hold water. I mean, all the things that went wrong with that spacecraft, the wrong computer commands, the wrong files loaded,
right?
It turns out it was killed at a key particular point in terms of where it was looking, which is the torrid meteor stream behind the sun on June 24th, when it mysteriously died. It was brought back to life when the sun moves mythologically into another one of these ritual positions in the sky. It's like clockwork. You can set your watch by this stuff. Now, I don't agree with it. I don't believe it, meaning I don't subscribe to the ritual, but you don't have to be a Roman Catholic or, a Buddhist to know that people practice religious rituals. This is an ancient Egyptian religious ritual, Art, and it involves death and resurrection. Remember your comment about Phoenix? You got to have ashes before you can rise from the ashes.
Correct.
The horse symbol in ancient Celtic mythology, stretching back through to Egypt, signifies death. It's the carrying of the soul to transcendence.